Students, we will see the next type of optical amplifiers, that is Raman amplifiers. So in Raman amplifiers, it is going to rely on intrinsic non-linearity in the silica fiber there. So the non-linear effects of the silica fiber is going to be taken into consideration. So when I am going to take this effect into consideration, we can see that it can be used for a variable wavelength amplification there. So here in this case, it is going to depend on the pump wavelength. So suppose for example, when I am going to pump a signal at 1500 nanometers, it is going to produce a gain at around 1560 to 1570 nanometers there. So here your Raman fiber amplifiers can be used as a standalone amplifier or a distributed amplifier. So when I am going to use it as a distributed amplifier, I can combine it with your EDFA amplifier. So here the nonlinear effect we are going to follow. The nonlinear effect is nothing but the stimulated Raman scattering principle there. So the SRS effect, the stimulated Raman scattering effect is nothing but the interaction between your optical energy field, that is an optical energy field, and the vibrational modes of the lattice internal structure of a material is going to be called as your SRS effect. So when I am going to have the interaction between the optical energy field and the vibrational modes of the lattice structure in the material, when these interact, your non-linear effect is going to occur. So here when an atom is going to first absorb, so what happens is when light is going to be incident on an atom, the atom is going to absorb the photon and it is going at a particular energy level. And what it does is it is going to release another photon at a lower energy level, that is at a longer wavelength there than that of the absorbed photon. So here the energy difference which is going to be between the absorbed and the released photons is going to be transformed into a phonon, where this is going to occur because of the vibrational mode of the material there. So a power transfer is going to take to higher wavelengths. So in this case the spectral range is going to be from 80 to 100 nanometers. So when I am going to shift to a longer wavelength, so from a lower wavelength to a longer wavelength I am going to shift, means that shift is going to be called as Stokes shift. So here we are going to have the relative amplitude, and this Raman pump we are going to use, where this pump is going to be used at 1445 nanometers. When I am going to pump an photon into the optical fiber, what happens is the gain of that or the amplitude of that signal is going to be increased after 90 nanometers there. So when it is going to release an energy there, so that means that the peak Stokes shift is going to occur after 90 nanometers, and we are going to have the gain to be the maximum, that is the signal is going to be amplified because of this pumping of this Raman energy there, that is this energy there. So the signal is going to occur, the peak is going to occur at 1535 nanometers. So we call this signal as an SRS generated interference signal, and this signal to be your data signal, which is going to be at 1535 nanometers. So the Raman gain mechanism, we have two types. One is lumped or discrete, and the other one is going to be a distributed amplifier there. So here in this case, the lumped or discrete amplifier, we are going to use an 80 meter old small core fiber, along with the appropriate pump placers are going to be inserted there into the transmission path. So here we are going to take a small core fiber where the pump placers are going to be inserted into the transmission path, and it is going to be taken as a packaged unit there. But in the case of distributed Raman amplifier, what we are going to do is the optical power can be from one or more Raman pump placers there. So in this case, this Raman pump placers can be inserted into the end of the transmitting fiber, the transmission fiber, or towards the transmitting end. So here in this case, when I am going to go for distributed Raman amplifier, this process is going to convert the final, that is the last 20 to 40 kilometers of the transmission fiber, into a pre-amplifier there. So in this case, the gain is going to be spread over a wider distance. So you can see that this is your optical fiber. Here a input signal is going to be fed to the optical fiber. Your pump placer is going to be given in synchronous with the input signal. So we call it as co-pumping. And if I am going to give it at the opposite side, the pump placer, means it is going to be called as counter pumping. So and I am going to get the output signal here. So here the distributed fiber, if I am going to see, it is going to be used in conjunction with your EDFA fiber. So here when we are going to use the transmitter, at the output of the transmitter we are going to have an EDFA fiber where the power level is going to be decreased over the fiber length. So after this EDFA, your signal is going to be amplified, but after a certain distance what happens is the power level is going to decrease there. Suppose if I'm going to use only EDFA, the power level will decrease after a certain distance. Suppose I'm going to use it in combination with your Raman pump laser there or Raman amplifier, the minimum optical power level is going to occur towards the middle, because this pump laser will be pumping the signal, that is it will increase the power level of the optical signal inside the fiber, and we can see that the power level is going to occur towards the middle and not at the end of the fiber there. The minimum optical power will occur in the middle of the fiber but not at the end of the fiber there. So here in this case the Raman pumping is going to take place in the opposite direction there, backwards over the fiber. So here we can say that the gain is going to be close to the receiver and it is going to decrease in the transmitter direction there, because here in this case the gain is going to decrease this side, but here we can see that it is going maximum towards the receiver side. So now this is the setup for your Raman amplification system. So what we are going to do is we are going to have the input signal. The input signal is going to be fed to a power tap coupler, where this power tap coupler is going to be monitored by the photodiode there, and this signal is going to be sent or propagated through the transmission fiber, and here we are going to have a broadband WDM coupler there. So in this broadband WDM coupler, the different wavelengths are going to be available. These different wavelengths are going to have a loss in the optical power there when it is transmitted. So what we are going to do is we are going to give a pump. The inputs from the pump lasers are going to be taken, then it is going to be combined, and then we are going to pump the power. So when the pumping of power is going to take place, the signal level of the wavelengths are different wavelength signals are going to be, amplitude of the different wavelength signals are going to be amplified, and it is going to be given to a great filter, that is your fiber filter there. So when it is going to have, it is going to flatten filter, we are going to have this, it is going to flatten the gain flatten filter. So this gain flatten filter will flatten the gains of the different wavelengths and it will send it to the output through a power tap. Again a power tap is going to monitor the photodiode. So this pump laser we are going to use, or the pump power is going to be used to increase the amplitude of the different wavelengths that is going to be available in the optical fiber there. So the advantages and disadvantages of Raman amplification is, advantages is we are going to have a variable wavelength amplification is going to be possible there, and it is going to be compatible with the installed signal mode fiber. So here we can use, it can be used to extend your EDFAs there, and we can have lower average power over a span, good, and for lower crosstalk you can go for Raman amplification. And very broadband operation is also possible with Raman amplification there. So the disadvantages is high pump power requirements are there, and high pump power lasers have only recently arrived there, and sophisticated gain control is also needed, and noise is also going to be an issue in the Raman amplification process. Next is wideband optical amplifiers. So your wideband optical amplifiers, we can see that the signals can be used either in a C band and L band there. So here this signals, when it is going to be demultiplexed, it can be done parallelly and then we can transmit it, or we can connect it in a serial fashion there. So here this is the representation of these two bands in parallel configuration there. So in parallel configuration is when I am going to have the signals to be present in C band and your L band, those signals are going to be demultiplexed into your C band EDFA and your L band EDFA. Then I am going to have your gain flattening filter 1 and gain flattening filter 2. So what happens is, whatever wavelengths is going to be available in the C band, all those gains are going to be flattened and then it is going to be given to the multiplexer there. So here in this L band, whatever wavelengths I am going to get, those signals are going to be flattened, the gains are going to be flattened, and then we are going to give it to a C bar L band multiplexer. So this multiplexer will combine these two signals and produce an output signal there. So here the two bands are going to be connected in parallel. So here the use of guard band. So when I am going to have it as in parallel, we have to have a guard band to be present. So this guard band is nothing but to avoid the crosstalk between the two signals. We are going to use the guard band there. So this guard band spacing should be around several nanometers between the two spectral regions there. So what is the disadvantages of your parallel configuration is it is going to have two WDM devices there. So which is going to be needed before and after each amplifier. So here in this case these two WDM devices are going to be needed before and after each amplifier, which is going to add to the system insertion loss. So when I am using a WDM devices, the insertion loss should be avoided. That is a disadvantage in the parallel configuration. So we go for series configuration. So the other name for a series configuration is seamless wideband optical amplifier. So in your seamless wideband optical amplifier, it is going to avoid the noise figure degradation there. So when I am going to go for it, the noise figure degradation of the wavelengths is going to be achieved by the additional cost of the couplers there. So here what we are going to do is both the C and L band signals are going to come. The C band EDFA is going to take only the C band signals, and the gain filtering filter, flattening filter is going to flatten the gains of the C band signals, and then we are going to send it to the L band EDFA, where this L band EDFA will take the signals of consisting of only the L band, and it will be given to the gain flattening filter of 2, and at the out they will be getting the output. So in this case it is going to be connected in series. The C band and the L band EDFAs are going to be connected in series there. By going for the series connection, we can see that the noise degradation can be achieved. That is it is going to avoid the noise degradation of the wavelength couplers there, and but the cost of the couplers is going to be more. Thank you.